Welcome to this weekend's update.
Well, it's not the weekend update, it's Friday, but it's
Yeah,
a Friday update.
I keep thinking it's Saturday. I came down a day early. We'll give it a second here and let a few people jump in this live.
I'll go here and share it. And the sweetest fish.
Gotta have some. Gets me through the day. Hope everybody's having a good start to the weekend. Like I said, I still think it's Saturday. I'm off a little bit. Of course, that's nothing new.
You don't say.
Nah, this weekend's update, we're going to bring you a little bit of a report and leave you with some tips that I think is going to be very helpful.
What type of tips? Sorry, I'm sitting here sharing. I'm not paying any attention.
Some informative fishing tips, some knowledge.
Some knowledge, huh? Well,
It's probably going to help you just a little bit.
starting off with yesterday, we went and we were catching bait, pan fishing. What we decided to use?
Well, we used ice jigs yesterday and done very well. Caught white bass, perch, bluegill, nice sized bluegill. The bluegill are on fire right now. I started off the morning, we was catching some perch and a lot of bluegill. I mean, by the
Lots
droves.
of bluegill.
So we got our bait already this morning for some flathead fishing.
And there's reports of flatheads sitting out in front of us, so we're not going to fight for the Dream Bridge spot tonight. Guy said there's about 10 of them just chilling out in the open areas of the weeds. We got to figure out the best tactic to attack them tonight here.
They're waiting on us.
Yeah, let's hope they're waiting on us.
We'll get them. Last night was good. Good flathead fishing.
Yeah,
I missed a couple. Got one 10-pounder. Tosh was on fire. What'd you get? Like 4 of them?
4 of them, 2 little 6-7 pounders and 2 nice mid-20s.
All on live bluegill.
Live bluegill on the Santee Cooper rig, using the Sasquatch and the M. Lambert cat called, both of them. Mike uses the M. Lamberts because, well, he's like me. We tie up once and we'll tie up again when we need to.
It's about the only one I've got. I've got a special edition one, but I don't want to break that out. I don't think there's but a couple of them out there, are there?
No, there's only 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, so I kind of might have to hang that one on the wall.
We'll probably get you set up with another one here.
Um,
But yeah, simple, easy.
While we're talking about catfish rigs or catfishing, I'll show you what I used last night. When I caught that 10-pounder, I'd never even realized he was on there. I'm using a 10-foot Mad Cat's rod Surge, and I used to always either fishing off the bottom for channel cat or float fishing for channel cat. Last year was the first year that I got turned on to some flathead fishing, and Tosh put me right on one. And last night was the very first flathead that I caught on this Mad Cat's rod. And having that 10-pounder on this rod, I never even realized he was on there. This thing has so much backbone to it. I mean, I horsed him in.
He honestly did not think he had a fish on there until it was about 5 feet in front of him.
Yeah, I thought, man, he's gone. I lost him. That's the third daggone cat I lost.
Yeah.
But he was on there. And, but I kind of wanted to have Tosh explain to you the Santee Cooper rig, the way we were fishing for these flatheads, and kind of educate you a little bit on how this is set up for the ones that haven't fished this way. But let's see if we can get that in view there.
Yeah, so what we have here, well, first off, we have the Mad Cat's 10-foot Surge. As you see, Mad Cat's. Best rods on earth. 10-foot Surge here. This is the medium heavy. And then I've lined them up with a Penn Battle 2. It's not a bait runner, but it is a good spinning, high drag. Good. Penn makes great reels. And then simply just Santee Cooper rig. So what we're using is a 2-ounce coin sinker. and it's overhand knotted, so I can adjust that 2-ounce point sinker for the depth, and it's just going to stay right where I put it, running overhand knot to a 220 pound braking swing, 220 pound braking strength number 2 swivel. This is 80 pound leader line. I honestly don't know what brand it is. It's either Andes or Slime Cat. Yeah, Slime Line. Sorry, not Slime Cat. Slime Line or Andes. Right here we have an M. Lambert 4-inch cat call. Basically top water spook cat calls. M. Lambert has them in the 4-inch. Sasquatch has them in the 4 and 5s and the pros. And then down to a Fishing Frenzy hook. So the way this works out, basically, when you cast it out, that sinker is going to fall to the bottom, and this peg float or bait float is going to, here, grab that sinker there, Mike, will you? Hold that down. It's going to pick your bait up off the bottom, and the closer you have your cat call to your hook, the higher it'll get up there. So now you're fishing, let's say 24 inches off the bottom. Flatheads attack up. You notice the bottom jaw sticks out farther than the top jaw. So when they attack up. You have that bait just that far off the bottom, right in that strike zone. And that was working very well for us last night, and also gives it plenty of room for the fish to move around and swim around and be active.
So now, instead of the typical Santee Cooper rig with just a float,
Just a peg
now
float.
you have a float with a rattle in it,
Yep.
with some color. So, and these seem to work out very well. There's all kinds of different brands of them.
We've caught everything from 3-pound channels to 25-pound plus flathead on 4-inch and 5-inch floats. So the floats really don't scare the fish off. They don't do anything.
And this Fishing Frenzy hook, if you can see how that's curved.
It's an offset circle. So it's got a bent eyelet, straight shaft, and then turn to the side so they can see. It's actually, here, the hook is offset to the shaft.
So what that does, when you set that hook, every time that hook ends up right in the corner of that fish's mouth. Every time.
Out of 100 catfish, I'd say 2 or 3 I've ever caught that were not in the corner of the side, in the corner of the mouth. I've never gut hooked a single fish since switching over to Fishing Frenzy. So I have gotten 2 of them, I think, in the gill plates, and 1 of them that went through the top of the mouth.
Probably swallowed a smaller fish.
But 99%, 95% of the time, it's right in the corner of the mouth, right in the kisser. Ed Townsend caught one in the tournament on a Fishing Frenzy hook, and it had a busted off Fishing Frenzy hook in the other corner of the mouth. So
if you want to learn that style of fishing and get away from the floats, you can contact Tosh on Indian Lake Fishing Reports on Flat on Facebook, and he can kind of educate you a little bit on that site there a little bit more.
And we have videos on Rad Cat's Tackle and Indian Lake Fishing Reports on. There's strategies to it. Pull your line in, make sure it's tight. There's lots of strategies to it. But Santee Cooper rig, it's simple. Google the stuff and start to learn. If you got any questions, you can always message me.
Now back to the jigs or pan fishing. There's something I picked up a while back, since I use a lot of small jigs. I'm not trying to sell these or whatever, but these are worth their weight in gold. Your locking pliers or hemostats, they'll save the integrity of your jig head. You can get down in the panfish's mouth pretty easy without tearing your jig head up. It also saves the fish a little bit. You might be able to get that jig out of him without tearing his guts up. So,
Panfish have been just attacking bait.
These are a couple bucks, I think. They're well worth their weight in gold. Right now, the mayflies are out real heavy. They started coming out real hot last night. This morning, big mayflies. The fish are breaking water. They're eating the mayflies, so
they're in all the insects on top of the water.
Yeah.
All throughout the day, you'll see them hit top waters.
You know, when they say trout fishing match the hatch, that's exactly what you need to do right now for some of these panfish. And these are the colors you need. And you know I'm going to show you my jig, if I can find it. Got a brand new one here somewhere. But my signature series jig from Mike's Bait and Tackle is exactly that. It matches that mayfly. It's all the right colors.
Orange, greens, chartreuse, browns,
Yep, little yellow in there.
yellows, little red dots.
That does match the mayfly hatch, so it works well on about anything. I've caught anything from crappie, bluegill, clear up to sawguy on them. And trying to think, what did I break off that flathead on? I can't remember. But
That was on Tad's.
I've caught everything on these, so they work, and especially right now, them are the right colors. And Tosh is using some dock sides with that typical, or that,
Green and orange.
yeah, them
Chartreuse,
colors.
greens, yellows, and oranges. That's all I'm working with. That's what I've been doing for a month, and it's working. So
Yep.
I'm not wanting to change up.
Them are the dominant colors right now.
Perch are still blowing up. We got a real nice sized perch this morning on a green and orange.
Yep.
So the perch bite, and we were getting decent perch on earthworms, night crawlers. Just go deep, big chunk of night crawlers. Then obviously jigs with whacker worms.
I was bear hooking some gill here earlier too.
The gills are feisty. They'll hit anything that moves right now.
Yep.
So just a hook, jig, and a piece of plastic.
Yep. Just need to keep that no slack in your line when you're jigging. Now's the time to practice jigging.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not good at it, if you practice it right now while them fish are that aggressive, you'll get good at it. You'll know what they want.
Yeah.
And don't leave any slack in your line. You
Mhm.
know, keep it taut and work that jig real slow, just a lot of little motion up and down or sideways.
Yep. I mean, all you really need is a 3-inch hole.
And
People, you can do this in the weed mats. Just, use the tip of your rod, wound out 3-inch hole, and then just thread the needle or thread the thread through the needle. Hit that hole.
once you get good at it, they basically hook themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so there's not really a lot of hooks set there. You just need to keep that line tight. And
But it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend at Indian Lake. We're talking mid 80s, low 80s, all weekend. Nice sunny days. I don't think it's even supposed to even think about rain until Sunday evening. So if you don't have anything planned, want a place to go fish for the weekend, don't be scared off. Indian Lake is not closed. The weeds are not as bad. I would say 60% of our lake is usable, and it's improving every day.
I started out fishing at Blackhawk about maybe 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It was getting hot. So we fished, and I done good. A lot of panfish and white bass. We fished all the hot weather yesterday and done well.
And it kind of took a whooping on us today.
It did. As you can see, we're sitting in the shade.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to try to get onto some flathead today. That flathead bite yesterday was early.
4:30 to 9.
And it was hot out.
It was real hot.
And we weren't the only ones getting them. I seen pictures of a lot of nice flathead that come out of the lake last night.
Yeah, there was some caught even after night. I was kind of shocked because most of the heavy bite, or at least for my tactics, was right during the hot time of the day.
Right.
So, that's, any time of the day is good for fishing, obviously. Just sometimes seem to be better than others.
So I got down here a day early. I figured we'd give you guys a really good update on what's really going on the water. So the fishing's good, even though it's hot.
Yeah. Bass, I've been fish the edge of them weed mats using, any type of little small wake bait, a little swim bait, joshies. Bass have just been going spastic on this lake. There's so many, 6, 7, 8-inch bass, illegal bass from just last year's spawn. And then there's just so many bass from the year before that are, now 10, 13, 14 and bigger. Know a couple guys that pulled out 3-pound bass right out front. So the bass fishing, it's good. It's getting better, and you can pretty much go bass fish. You no longer have to stick to the game preserve like we know historically. All the bass fishing used to be on the northwest side, and Indian Lake was known for the biggest bass being 3 pounds.
Right. And don't forget, if, if you're wanting to get involved in some bass tournaments,
There's plenty of bass tournaments around the lake.
in Atchison's, they have
Atchison's.
two. One, I think, one midweek and one on the weekend. And
Yep.
you can always, I think, now you can get you a nice hot breakfast before you take off for the tournament. So look up Atchison's resort. And,
It's usually posted up on Facebook. They have it up on there. And there's always bass tournament every Saturday morning.
oh yeah,
So that's good. It's a good lake to come and learn how to bass fish.
exactly.
It's a good lake to come and learn how to fish in general. Plenty of fish, plenty of catfish, panfish, bass, perch. There's just plenty of them. And right now, with the weeds, they are just populations are booming.
And if you're down here boating with your family and you do some fishing and boating, and you're mixing them up, whatever, there's a lot of plenty good restaurants all around the lake that you can stop and visit that are boat accessible.
Yeah, Tilton Hilton and Atchison's. And, you can even
Indian
do fast
Head.
food at McDonald's and
Yep.
Taco Bell. So,
Got cranberries. They'll have some great food.
and as you're going through here, stick. If you're out on the boat, stick to what visibly is the main cut, open pass through the weeds. Like I said, yes, there is 40% of our lake that's red, as in impassable, as in you really can't do it.
You
There's
can't-
probably about 20% of our lake that's caution. You can get through it, but you gotta use a little caution. But 40% of our lake, the northeast side,
and you can't
Green
miss
Bridge to Long Island's all
these,
good.
you can't miss these open spots. They look like highways in the water.
Yeah, it literally looks
Clear.
like a path cut right through a main weed line.
So, where we was fishing last night, that's all wide open, clear.
We weren't
Looks
even pulling in
beautiful.
very many weeds with the Santee rigs like we normally do up there. Had a few of them. We got a few weeds on the rigs.
I don't even have to tell you where we was fishing. I'm sure you all probably got a pretty good guess at know the lake.
Anybody that follows my page, if I block out the background with some type of dream scene, well, I'm in a dream state. So where am I fishing? Dream Bridge. I don't try to hide it from anybody. I just find it's funny.
There were many people waiting to get a spot to park there.
We had some vehicles park off onto the side of the road, sit there and wait for 30, 40 minutes. Vehicles parked behind us, up along the side.
We had to struggle to get a spot, and we paid for it dearly.
Yeah, we paid for it. I ain't gonna lie. We paid for that spot.
Yeah.
So
Um,
sometimes it helps. It works.
we had to sit it out, man. And yeah,
5,
And
6 hours of heat's not fun, but it was the right spot to be last night.
it paid off. But so I hope today's update give you guys a little bit of informative stuff, and maybe will help you out. But main thing is get down here and get to fishing. Don't forget to support your local businesses; they appreciate it.
And when you come out and go fishing, you can't make it a 3, 4, 5 hour excursion. Come out 6:30 in the morning. Start fishing. Go grab lunch 11:30, 12, because that's when fishing slows down. Go explore the lake a little bit. 12 to 3, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, go back and start fishing again.
Yeah, if you
Make
really
a whole day out of fishing the lake. That's the only way you're going to get a good understanding
you
of
know-
how to fish the lake.
yeah, you'll figure out them patterns and what's working, what's not, when.
Yeah,
I mean, we
when to fish, what colors to fish with, what to look for.
When I come down, I'll fish from the time I get here till the time can't take it no more. It's time to go to bed.
He's usually waking me up. I gotta bring a net. I'm not even awake yet. You gotta get a net.
But and that's how we figured out the patterns. What's working, what's not. When, where,
Yeah.
and not to say in them dead times, in the dead heat of the day.
You
But
can
you're-
even still catch fish.
Yeah, it's just might be a little tougher. You might have to get a little more creative.
You gotta
Find
jig
yeah.
it a little more.
Find those shade spots. Go a little bit deeper. You'll start figuring out where the deeper spots on the water are. Like Blackhawk, I was fishing 1 to 3 feet. Sometimes I'd switch up to 4 foot and pull perch out. So, and some other spots you might only be able to fish 1 to 3 feet because it's only 4 or 5 feet deep. So, but that's where they're at.
Yeah, and as you look around, you'll see in between the weeds. Get a pair of polarized glasses. In between the weeds, millions of fish. If you're species selective fisherman who likes to pull Smithwicks and flicker shads, looking for sawguy and whatever species specific, you might struggle up here with the weeds. It's not going to be the best fishing.
But
But
there's
if
some
you are
areas
a
for it.
If you there's areas for it. There's obviously areas for it. But if you are a fisherman who just wants to go and enjoy fishing, you're out to catch whatever's biting. You're using bobber, worms, very simple fishing tactics. Indian Lake's one of the best lakes I have ever fished in my 40 some years of fishing. And then anywhere.
For me, mixed bag fishing, I love it.
Yeah. You'll get a lot of action from a lot of species on the same jigs or on the same baits. So, and don't be afraid to try something new out here. A lot of times I find if fish haven't seen it, it'll work right away. Now even if it's dumb, it may not work 3 minutes later, but it'll work once or twice right away.
Yep.
But yeah, and then also remember, we have the annual catfish tournament coming up August 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Huge community tournament donated and put on by all the local businesses and whatnot. Average of about 500 entries, $10,000 plus pot. That's total pot.
It's the big one, folks.
It's the big one. So take time to schedule that. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, August 4th through the 7th. Hit up RV wholesalers. They rent out RVs around here locally. Hit up Indian Lake State Campgrounds. They will rent you a place to stay and make a weekend of it. And I'll be pushing that for next month.
Don't forget to eat some good food while you're down here.
Yep. Make some good food, eat good food at the restaurant, and visit all the local little shops.
Yep.
So
we'll see you guys Wednesday. We got some fishing
and tomorrow.
to do. Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow probably too.
I think we might do a live. We might do a fishing live too. I don't know, just out of the blue. So if you happen to catch it, good deal. So just kind of pay attention. See, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that alert bell, that notification bell. That'll let you know when we go live or if there's a video.
Maybe it's
uploaded.
over here.
Yeah, it's down there.
Maybe it's up there.
Or over there. I don't know, man, but I'm going to get onto this bag.
I still
Do a
want to
little
see
bit of
somebody
that
catch something with Swedish fish.
Well, heck, let's give it a shot.
I'm not going that route.
I got some other goodies down there too if you try. So we'll see you guys in another live probably this weekend, and then look forward to Wednesday. I'll give you an updated fishing report from what's actually going on clear up to Wednesday. So you guys take care. Get out there, catch some fish, and we will see you later.
Tie lines and solid hooks at y'all.